Good evening, Agile acquisition enthusiasts, and welcome back to the Underground Digital Tiki Bar. It's been another long week fixing procurement in the federal government, and that means it's Friday night and time for another episode of Agile Acquisitions and Alcohol. Cheers. All right, on tonight's episode, I want to talk about minimum viable product. I think this is where we get into a lot of problems when we attempt to implement change and innovation and adopting agile practices in agencies. As far as agencies are concerned, the idea of developing new software is always with the intent of replacing or sunsetting a legacy system. Questions are asked, how much money is this going to save? How soon can I retire the legacy system? And this is just not coherent with the idea of a minimum viable product. The idea of a minimum viable product should be the idea of developing and building capability that you can roll out to users and test the most important functionality that you can deliver first. This is critical to the agile development process and absolutely flies in the face of traditional waterfall development. So when talking to key stakeholders, you have to help them understand this is not a rip and replace effort. And rip and replace efforts never work. The idea that we are going to one day have the complete replacement for an existing legacy system, flip a switch and roll the new one out without any problems, I've never seen it successfully happen, and I doubt I ever will. The best and most strategic way to do this, while it may not make the most sense on a spreadsheet when you're trying to compare dollars to dollars, but in reality, the most effective way to do this is to start with the key functionality of an existing legacy system or a key functionality you wish a legacy system had and build it new, not as an add-on or an addition to the existing system, but a new capability. Slowly over time, or hopefully quickly over time, you add additional functionality, and more functionality rolls into the new system. Then you can start talking about de-scoping. Remember, every federal contract under Christian doctrine has the termination for convenience clause already in it, which means you can cancel a contract at any time the government determines appropriate. What we don't always do appropriately, though, is we can do a partial termination for convenience, which means we can start shutting down pieces of a system as we don't need it anymore. Now, the more prudent approach, contracts that are in options, as you know that this is coming up, you start to bake in those scale back capabilities into the option years. But if you don't know, as you're doing these iterative developments and functionality has proven to be better or more effective in this new system, you have that ability to go back to the contractor at any time of your legacy system and start de-scoping, and we need to take advantage of that. And there you have it. That is minimum viable products as it relates to legacy systems and sunsetting. And remember, when you're talking to your stakeholders, that you have to help them understand where the value is. It's not always in the spreadsheets. It's in the spreadsheets of the future over time, but it's often in the user experience, which a lot of the times is soft savings. So if that was helpful, I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If you have any ideas for future episodes, let me know those as well. As always, please subscribe, and until next time, cheers.